Yasa here at FreeBellyDanceClasses.com. Today's video is actually really answering someone's question. She said she travels a lot with her fan veils, and we have done some fan veil workouts lately and movements. Not workout, we have not done a workout yet, but we've done some moves where I taught you guys different technique moves and combos, so make sure you check it out on the website. And they're technique fan veils, okay? But the question was, how do you store them when you travel? Because they really do tend to get wrinkly very quickly. You know, there aren't, unfortunately, a lot of different ways to do that. My favorite way is basically to keep the veil part straight and stretched and flat. And so traveling in a flat suitcase, you know, the square ones, is way better than traveling with like a duffel bag or something like that. And actually belly dancers that travel a lot and perform a lot know this already. It's way better to use a square suitcase than a duffel bag. Duffel bags will be for other things like your jewelries and stuff. Let's talk about how to store these guys. I'll just grab one for now. Few rules here. One is definitely don't keep them open, okay? Make sure they're always closed like this. This part definitely should be closed. I would advise you to put it inside something that's soft, okay? I learned that the hard way myself because I broke few. The reason is, well, obviously if you're traveling in an airline, you know, they just like throw your luggage right and left. And these things, for those of you who know, they are not strong. They're very soft, and the piece of wood here is really, really soft. And it could come off really easily. So make sure you store them in a container, okay? And make sure that this part, just this part right here, goes underneath a bunch of your clothes. So like if you have a bunch of clothes in your suitcase, really keep it protected. So maybe put like a sweater around it or something that's really thick and soft. That way when they're like throwing your luggage around, it's not gonna break easily. The other thing is when you put it in your suitcase, please do not put anything heavy on top of it. Like even your jewelry, you know, belly dance jewelry is really heavy jewelry, and sometimes when you put it on something that's really thin wood, it could break it, you know, just with the weight. I remember one time I was performing and I just put these on the side, you know, with my sword on top of them because I was going to use the sword, and then I was going to grab the veils after the sword. So I put the sword on top of the fans. And by the time, so I grabbed my sword, I did my performance, and by the time I got to grabbing my fans, they were basically broken, both of them, because of the weight of the sword on top of them. So be very careful about that. And I know a lot of belly dancers that travel, you know, for performances, they carry swords with them, and swords obviously are not allowed in the plane, so you have to put them in your check-in luggage. And if you do that and you put them on top of your fan veils, chances are they're gonna end up being broken by the time you get there, and it's not a fun experience if you can't use them anymore. And it's not something you can just go to the grocery store and purchase quickly, okay? So make sure you definitely keep him protected and don't put anything heavy on top of him, and definitely don't put him right on top, you know, against, you know, the edge of your suitcase without any protection, because they're gonna break. But the rest of the fan veil, I would definitely tell you to keep it as straight as you can. So belly dance performers know to travel not in small suitcases but in bigger suitcases. Even if you don't need them, they're better because you can really lay an entire skirt and a veil and fan veils, and even a sword can fit in there easily. So definitely make sure you have one of those, a really big ass suitcase. You know, something that looks like you're moving out of the country for good. You know, like one of those that I packed all my stuff in when I moved from Morocco. So definitely have something bigger and wider that you can basically just kind of fold this top right here in half. I mean, you should not really fold it more than halfway like this, okay? And then really keep it flat as you can. Again, without too much stuff on top of it, so it stays, you know, straight and clean. So I definitely would say, like when you pack in your stuff for a trip, that the fan veil should be the last thing you pack. And pack it where, you know, the bottom, as I said, is inside and protected with a lot of other layers of clothes, and then the veil part should be on top, you know, straight and relaxed, okay? The other thing also is when you arrive to your hotel, for example, and let's say you have a performance the next day or the same day, in fact, is you can really just put this veil part, if you feel like it's too wrinkly, just put it in water and then hang it like from your shower rod or something. And then because it's really loose fabric and it's really thin, it will dry very quickly. Or you can even use a blow dryer, hair dryer, and dry it up. And that usually kind of helps with the wrinkles. So, but other than that, really, you just use your common sense. And a lot of it also depends on the kind of fabric you have, so be very careful. As you guys know, I told you before, I don't think it's necessary to spend a lot of money to purchase expensive silk fan veils. But if you prefer them for whatever reason, because they are awesome for certain things, especially when you have shoulder injuries, I love them for that because they're not as heavy and they don't require a lot of shoulder work to move them. So definitely be careful with them. They do get a little bit wrinkly very quickly and they require more care. And you can't just dip them in water and they come out fine. You really have to be gentle with them. There is a whole different procedure of how to manage them. But if you have just a regular cheap fan veil like this, then these basic rules that I told you should suffice in taking care of it the best you can. But they do tend to get wrinkly even if you just let them sit in on a couch like they're just laying. Sometimes they just had them get all wrinkly too. So just do your best, but I think these are the things that worked for me, and I hope you find something in them you can use that will make things a little bit easier. So this was an answer for Monica is her name, that asked the question, traveling with fan veils, what are the rules to store them. So hopefully this answers your question. I'll see you guys next time on freeballetdanceclasses.com. Until then, keep on dancing. Bye.